WNST, Italian Getaway, John out to the Pacific Northwest. But I am back here, and all I've got left is baseball. Capital season, done. Wizard season, done. Preakness will be done soon. This guy's still selling cars over there. He's not done doing the SSV on WNST. He'll be here every Thursday from 3 until 5. Dennis, unless you're ready to adopt the Orioles fully right now, what are we going to do with ourselves around here the next 3 months?
Well, I guess keep our ear and eyes on the wire just to see if there are any Ravens news around. I mean, not a whole lot, as you mentioned, going on in the world of local sports, and it'd be great if we had more things to latch on to.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's what the brigade's about. I mean, we got soccer being played at various points, but we are getting into the quiet time where baseball takes over. I'm bummed about it. It's the first couple of days where there's no more Capitals, there's no more Wizards. We got into that for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And Dennis, it's inevitable. And look, you saw a lot of cars in the corridor. You're Switzerland, right? I mean, you don't care whether they're a Redskin fan or a Raven fan or a National fan or an Oriole fan. Certainly Caps and Wizards. But you've been selling cars here a long time. Be honest with me. You see a lot more Caps and Wizards today than you did 10 or 15 years ago, right?
Well, of course we do, Nestor, because we've kind of embraced those teams. I still think Baltimore is a wonderful sports town. Unfortunately, we've never been able to support an NBA franchise or a hockey franchise to the max. We've had the Skipjacks, Clippers a few years back, but that's been about it. So as the metro areas merge a little bit, a lot of our friends and neighbors have embraced the Capitals and the Wizards, and we see a lot more people, employees as well around here, wearing red. Washington red all the time, except the Redskins. That's something that Baltimore will never embrace. We know that for a fact.
That's a good point. I mean, and here's the problem. It's sort of guilt by association, right? Like, so and I have a lot of old line people out there. They're still in hate with Washington. Yeah. They won't even go down there for a concert or whatever. I'm 48 now, Den. You know what I mean? I'm sort of over the small stuff at this point. I've embraced the Capitals and the Wizards fully. They are the only teams we're going to have in our lifetime if we're going to choose to live here, unless you want to adopt the Lakers or the Celtics or something like that. And I know everybody's on the LeBron machine now, or you like the Golden State Warriors, whatever it is. But, my affection for the Capitals and my disappointment, from a lot of Baltimore perspective, it's, well, good, that's one more Washington team that didn't win. I don't understand that philosophy, and I've been discussing it with some locals here the last couple of weeks, because I do feel like it's sort of one of these glaring things. Like, you're going to hate on the Capitals, you're going to hate on the Wizards. Well, what are you going to like? What do you adopt your team to be? Because if you're going to spend the rest of your life waiting for an NHL or an NBA team here, you might as well be running east looking for a sunset, man.
Yeah, that's true. But although I did think, how cool would it have been to watch a Baltimore franchise play the Pittsburgh Penguins? Especially a team decked out in black, purple, and white versus the red. It would have been great, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I know there have been movements towards that end, but again, Baltimore has never been proven to support an NHL franchise. But I think if you get a Baltimore-Pittsburgh, that would have a lot bigger meaning to the local folks than the D.C. club versus the Penguins.
Well, I certainly felt it sitting next to Mike Tomlin last week. I mean, someone said to me, like, what are you doing going to a game with Mike Tomlin? Like, why are you there with him? And I'm thinking to myself, dude, he met me at the gate with his wife, and my wife and I were in red. He got the tickets and walked down to the seats and spent 3.5 hours with us. And the dude's behind me. I don't know. Did you see the picture of the Ovechkin?
I did.
The Ovechkin golf clubs. That dude behind us, who was a bit of a pain in the ass as the game went on because the Capitals were winning pretty handily. We sat down, and they were giving the coach a hard time. Uh-huh. They're like, "Coach, what are you doing bringing Capitals fans here?" And I turned around. I'm like, "Whoa. Right. We're not Capitals fans. We're Ravens fans. Let's get that straight, all right?
Right.
And boy, did that set them off. I mean, then it got worse. They put the coach on the screen in the first minute and a half of the game. They found him down there, put him up on the big screen, and you could see my red sleeve next to him a little bit, and I so messed up, and I got his permission afterwards. I said I should have given him a kiss. We should have pretended it was the kiss cam. Here's this guy in a Baltimore Skipjacks Capitals jersey, grabbing Coach Tomlin and hugging him on the video cam. That would have made SportsCenter, I think. But as it was, I'm proud to be a Caps fan, but there certainly is a little Baltimore brushback from some quadrants, I would say.
Certainly. I wasn't happy to see them lose. Anytime Pittsburgh loses in any sport, I think any hardcore Baltimorean would celebrate their loss. But again, you just hate to see their franchise go down once again, and after having the best regular season record go up in flames again. And the postseason, I've never quite seen anything like in all of sports and watching sports and covering sports in all my years, Nestor, how this team just cannot put it together for the playoffs. And the notion that the Penguins are built for the playoffs, I don't understand that. From a coaching standpoint, a player's perspective, or a journalist's perspective, I don't understand that line of thinking. I don't subscribe to it. They just, one more game to close out the series, one more game at home, and to get outplayed and outskated in the manner that they did is unfathomable.
Well, and the disappointment of 2 Game 7 losses, I mean, as tough as we've had it around here, imagine Ted Leonsis. I mean, when Steve Bisciotti loses a big game, how bad he feels when you lose twice in Game 7s in a couple of day period of time.
That's true.
I know Ted pretty well. I mean, he lives through these franchises. It's important to him. It means the world to him to have a parade in D.C. He's not looking to get his next steak dinner or his next yacht out of this thing. He wants to win. And this has been a tough awakening, I think, for all the fans down there. The good news is they are Redskins fans, so let them suffer a little bit. That's my little side attempt at humor. But
sure.
From the Wizards side of this, watching those Boston people be happy on Monday night did nothing for me either.
Right. No question about it. Again, another sports town, if you will, that has had a ton of success. Great history, great legacy, great franchise in the Celtics. And you're right about Ted Leonsis. It was lost upon me that both of his franchises lost Game 7s. That's got to be a very hard pill to swallow for an owner at any level.
Well, especially when you feel like you're good enough to win.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Wizards were good enough to win. The Capitals certainly were. I think the Wizards would have had their hands full with LeBron this week. But I also know how the Wizards played them. The Cavaliers would have had their hands full. This thing has really played out now to be Golden State and Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And these series this week, I don't expect them to get interesting. I don't expect either one of them to go to Game 6, honestly.
No, you're right about that. It was a bad matchup for the Wizards from the get-go against the Celtics. They just didn't match up very well against this team, and it was proven no team won on the opposing team's court in the entire series, also in the regular season, and that formula held true all the way through the playoffs. So now, again, we just have to wait and see LeBron tee it up against Curry and that great Warriors team. It should be a great finale once again.
Yeah, right? I mean, if there's nothing else, this sort of third version of this and going back after with a couple of teams that don't like each other, fan bases that have grown large, and it's almost Ali Frazier. Like I don't really know who's going to win if they get together. That's an unusual circumstance in the NBA because in every other one of these series, the chalk is kind of held up, right?
Yeah, no question about it. So we'll have to see him. Last year, I was one of the few people that predicted the Cavaliers would win. I haven't really looked at this series for this year's matchup when they get to that point, and we'll take a look at it. But I would think that the Warriors are going to be heavily favored to take back the title from the Cavaliers. This
might be the year I go on the internet and buy one of those illegal Chinese Golden State jerseys for $45. I always liked Rick Barry back in the day. I had a thing for the franchise 40 years ago. Even when the Bullets were playing him, I was a 9-year-old kid. The dude that threw the free throws underhand, it was always fun and fascinating. But and then the Warriors treated us so well when we were out with Niels out there back in November, and Steve Kerr was so incredible with us. I'm going to be a Warriors fan. I don't own anything Warriors other than my Craig Sager shirt, but I think I'm going to break down and become a Warriors fan for the next month. Why not?
I've been a Lakers fan ever since they had Kareem and Worthy and Magic out there, and I've been waiting for them to come back ever since those golden years. They've never done it. So that's my franchise of like on record.
That's why you and Peter DeLutis get along, I guess, right?
He loved the Lake Show, and hopefully I'll be relevant again, that great West Coast team, and make some noise in the NBA. But until then, this is what we have. But again, a classic matchup, as you said, with the addition of Kevin Durant. That certainly spices up the recipe a little bit more for this year's finale.
He is Dennis Kolatzis of Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. His show time is 3 until 5 on Thursday with the SSV on WNST. He's also out there tweeting and doing other stuff. What's going on out of Coons Ford? I know we got Memorial Day coming up here. And this, look, you were trying to sell me the heated seats 6 months ago. I understand that, and they've worked well. Now it's ragtop weather, right? Now it's time to get into the Pete's Mustang and roll the back on that thing and roll down Route 50 or something.
Yeah,
right?
you got it. We have close to 100 Mustangs, if not more, right on the ground right now. Most of them are drop tops. Great time of the year. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful week coming up. We have a big Memorial Day sale. Right now, Ford is offering 0% for up to 72 months, plus $2,000 financing, plus another $1,000 if you're a first responder, firefighter, police officer, EMT, nurse, etc. Plus no payments for 90 days, Nestor. So no payments until the Ravens kick off in September. So we're that close, and big Memorial Day sale starts tomorrow here at Coons Baltimore Ford.
You know, by the way, I love that you threw nurses in there
Absolutely.
with all the first responders, because the nurses kept my wife alive.
Oh,
so
they're just such unsung
give them
heroes.
a deal. Give them a deal.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
nurses.
Anytime we get a nurse in here, we all just go the extra mile for him or her. As they do so much for our community. They really do. They're the unsung heroes.
Well, we'll see you on Thursday. I know you better get ready for baseball now. So all we got the next 90 days are the Orioles. I mean, they're playing good baseball. I mean, it's Are we all going to get on the bandwagon or not, Dan?
I got on there very early, and this last week has been at the middle. It's been very tough the last week to watch them. They've lost 4 straight or so, and
they're going to hit the ball better, though. They really are. They're going to pitch worse, though, I think.
Well, they better outscore the other team then, right? Like the 83 Chargers. They better put some points up on the board, for sure.
Let's get a little thin air over at the ballpark and watch the long balls start to fly again. I would expect they're going to hit better over the next 60 than the last 60, but I think the pitching's fascinating with Bundy right now. He has become appointment viewing for me on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, he's certainly a lot of fun to watch. Great command of his slider and curveball and everything else he throws at those hitters.
Dennis, be well. We'll see you out at Coons Ford Security Boulevard. We'll see you on Thursday or 3 o'clock, okay?
You got it. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Nestor.
You got it. The SSV on WNST is heard Thursdays here from 3 until 5. He is Dennis Kolatzis of Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. I'm out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNS TV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.